Hello, my name is Russell Myers, independent for U.S. President for 2024. So there has been a competition going on between Governor Abbot of Texas and President Joe Biden, the federal government, regarding the efforts of Texas to prevent illegal aliens from entering the border, the illegally, well, I already said illegal, and on this issue, I'm going to say that I actually side with Governor Abbot to a degree. Now, this has become a massive issue. I do not agree with any of this, calling illegal immigrants terrorists or anything like that. That's just wrong. These are people that are fleeing conditions, often life-threatening conditions in their own countries. They are refugees. I've said this before. They are refugees. Most of them are refugees. I do not think that the National Guard should be called out on this, because what is happening with that is that you take people, you activate people in the National Guard, you pull them away from their homes, away from their families, away from their jobs. You wind up negatively impacting society and the economy. You may negatively impact the finances of the people that you have activated. I do think that I don't approve of a militaristic approach to this. In some cases, some defense is necessary, but that tends to be very rare. When you put it in perspective, that is far less than 1% of the encounters with any illegal aliens. It's far less than 1% of the people. I also don't agree with Joe Biden and his policy of allowing illegal immigrants in and then releasing them. Now, as it stands, so many immigrants have come here seeking asylum, appropriately or inappropriately. But whatever the case may be, it's going to take years for these cases to go in front of a judge to determine whether this is appropriate or inappropriate, whether their claims are real or not. I've said it in the past. The reason for this influx is because of economic conditions and life-threatening conditions from, drug lords and things like this that are brought about by U.S. policy, domestic and foreign policy. You look at things like Honduras and Hillary Clinton orchestrating the overthrow of the Honduran government, which turned Honduras into a death trap. Of course, people are going to be fleeing from those conditions. And then we've got the drug war, which, if we had different drug laws, we would be producing or contracting with these countries to legally produce drugs, controlled substances that are monitored, regulated, etc., made a lot safer, a lot less expensively, but the drug war, I've already done a policy on that. So I've already done a policy on immigration, and I stand by that policy. I'm not in favor of concentration camps. I am in favor of forming camps where illegal immigrants can be housed, but make them so that you've got farms and so forth that the people there can work on to produce food, to reduce the cost of them being here. They are safe, not piling them up in one on top of the other in cages. I'm not in favor of the inhumane conditions that that this is bringing about. Now, we do have more and more people coming because of the policy of allowing them in and releasing them. Now, if we formed these camps, farms, etc., gave them something to do, and gave them just whatever. Now, if we did this, and they knew they were not going to be released or shipped off to other places, put up in hotels, and all that stuff, number one, we would reduce the cost. Number two, the flow of immigrants would slow down. Now, of course, not everybody coming here it's not appropriate for them to seek asylum. Number two, one of the biggest things that we could do to stop this is to help these countries with the conditions that the people are fleeing from. If we did things like adjusted our drug laws, but they're also fleeing extreme poverty, which is largely driven by the U.S. capitalist system and so forth and so on, and the interest rates which drive up the cost of living in their countries so that they are starving to death. This is a complex issue. This is a very complex issue. It's not as simple as just building fences and pointing guns at people. It's not that simple. But I do agree with Governor Abbot that something has to be done. I agree with all of the border states that feel that something has to be done to stop this influx. This has become a critical issue. This has become an invasion. And when you have 30,000 people coming across the border in 1 month, and millions per year, we don't have places to put them. No, I don't agree with the people that say that the immigrants drive down wages. That's not true. That's a lie. It is capitalist employers that hire these people at lower wages that drive wages down. How can you say we've got full employment, but it's immigrants that are driving down wages? You can't have both. You cannot have both, period. They're not driving up the cost of living. They're not driving down your wages. It's not the immigrants that are doing that. As far as the razor wire issue is concerned, I am against that, both for humanitarian purposes and environmental purposes. Human beings and animals can get trapped in this, and this really does bring up the image of concentration camps. It really does. And it's funny how we, criticize other countries, but, and remember the Berlin Wall, that had razor wire too. I think that we should expand the Border Patrol. If somebody in the National Guard or Texas National Guard wishes to join the Border Patrol, then they should be released from their duties in the National Guard or the Texas Guard, and just give them full-time employment with the Border Patrol. But we need to handle this in a humanitarian manner and a reasonable manner. Again, this is, as far as the drugs are concerned, fentanyl, effects of fentanyl. Every time we get rid, you have a war on drugs, you're against opiates, you're against heroin, and so forth. What you really wind up doing is just enabling the development of other synthetic drugs that wind up being worse, like bath salts, Flocka, and the effects of those things are so much worse. Yes, many people. We had a crisis of people dying from fentanyl, and that has slowed down, but it hasn't stopped. I see people, as a corrections nurse, I see people addicted to fentanyl on a daily basis. Every day we're having people coming into the jails, the incarceration system, that are addicted to fentanyl. And sometimes other drugs are laced with fentanyl, including illegal marijuana. It gets laced with fentanyl. Why? Because the dealers know that they're going to get the person addicted to this, and they're going to keep coming back. The person that might have bought, a dime bag once a month or every 2 months, instead they're going to be coming back next week, and then tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow. They're addicted to it, and they keep on coming back. Because they took something they didn't know they were taking. So that's a big issue. But if we were controlling things, again, just refer to my policy on the drug war on that. This would be a big thing. But no, these are not terrorists coming across the country, across the border. Some of the people carrying those drugs are forced to carry them. Otherwise, they or their families are under threat. So, and others, they're bringing it across to sell it so that they have something to live on when they first get here. Agree or disagree. I mean, they've been living in poverty. They're trying to escape that. Doesn't mean I approve of it, agree with it, but these are the facts. We have to look at things realistically. We have to look at what is the cause. What is the cause? If you don't eliminate the cause, you're not going to eliminate the problem. But for now, yes, I agree with Governor Abbot. As I stated, to a degree, we should expand the Border Patrol and protect our country in a humanitarian manner. But we should also be helping these people and the conditions that they are fleeing from. All right, so that is my stance on this. So please share this video. Talk about these subjects far and wide. Talk about it from the humanitarian perspective. Talk about it from the cause and effect perspective, please. All right. So talk about these subjects. Share this video. If you can afford it, please donate whatever you can to this campaign, and I will catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day.